Hey friends, this is Ime. So I've been making a couple HSR videos this year and I wanted to do something different. I've been meaning to get back into Maplestory for a while, but I just haven't had the motivation or really an idea of what exactly to do. So I figured, hey, maybe I'll, make some videos about it. I'm like, sure, yeah, fuck it. So I had an idea where it was just like how to beat Maplestory, where I'll make a character, I'll like burn in whatever, and I'll just walk people through the step by step of what to do to get stronger, and hopefully somebody will learn something. This doesn't necessarily have to be a guide. I think people should probably look at other guides before coming to me. Not saying my information is gonna be wrong or anything, but I'm definitely gonna look over details probably, or like assume people are better at the game than they are. That's happened to me before. So the character I'm making is a Thunderbreaker. I've been thinking a lot about it already, and I chose Thunderbreaker just because it's a simple class. I don't think it's gonna get in the way. Let's give it like blue hair. It's too generic. Let's do like red hair. A Thunderbreaker because it's simple. It's not gonna get in the way. I'm not gonna have to like explain the class that much because I think everybody kind of understands what Thunderbreaker does. And if a new player watches this and they don't know what Thunderbreaker does, I think I will explain it briefly. But it'll mostly be like how to gear up, what the bosses do, how to beat them and stuff. Some like strats. I'm probably gonna do most stuff solo. Until I get to like, Lucid and Will. Then I'll try to like get a guild and look for a group and stuff. But yeah, I chose Thunderbreaker and I thought of a name that really represents me, okay? I'm gonna name this guy Crazyburgr. Yeah, that name's available. I know that name's available. I reserved that name. Yeah, so this will be a hyper burn. However, this hyper burn, I believe I wasted a couple of the rewards for it because I started a hyper burning on Hyperion, and then I deleted it because then I got this idea to do this video. And yeah, I got that other character up to like 206. So I'm pretty sure the level 200 reward and the level 205 reward are like spent. I don't know if the level 150 reward is spent, the one for the temporary CRA set. But if it is spent, that's not a big deal. I can solo CRA on Pensaliers just fine. Everything should be fine. So I'm just gonna do the tutorial real quick and I'm gonna like skip ahead probably. Alright, I just finished the tutorial. I don't know why it made me do that. I guess it's because it's new and I haven't made a Cygnus Knight in a while. I'm just gonna set my link skills real quick. I do have like every link skill in the game. So that's definitely gonna help me a lot. So don't think this is the normal power level if you're like a new player. I'm definitely gonna be a lot stronger than the average person at the start. Maybe not even average, honestly. So many people are like endgame today that it's probably normal. That's crazy. I don't even know what to put on, honestly. I'm trying to get like mob damage and XP. So this will be like training. This one's good, this one's good, this one's good. And let's get one more. Let's do attack power. Sure, that's probably decent. There's no way these are optimal, but it's what I'll be using. I also have a Legion. I do have 9k Legion. So again, not the power level the normal level 10 character is gonna have. I also grabbed some stuff from my storage to help out. But basically, for the start, you just want to get to level 200. whatever way you do it doesn't really matter. You just gotta, you know, get there. So I believe I can still do this. So this is like an event that's gonna help me level up. And I think it just teaches you a bunch about the game. Like Star Force and killing mobs and shit. Tapped out accidentally, might be. I'm not gonna make you look at this. I'm just gonna like skip ahead until I'm like level 200 or like close to it, I guess. Alright, so here, after hopping into the cash shop and grabbing some of my older items so I can, you know, not look like a basic tutorial character, I got into the Terrablink event, or it was like the 0 to 100 or whatever the hell, which just takes you into a bunch of maps to kill mobs and they give a ton of XP. Extremely good event. I don't know until like what date it's available, but you know, it definitely makes leveling a lot faster, like so fast. It took me 30 minutes to get from 10 to 200, and I didn't need like coupons and stuff, which I was expecting to use a lot of. So usually getting to 200 takes a couple hours, you know, I would say like maybe 5 hours if it's your first 200. Maybe a little more, I don't know, like it's been a while since I have leveled up without Legion. However, if you play like as of the upload of this video, I guess, this event is still available for like a couple more weeks, I think. So you can just do that. And so I did that. I did this event. Very good. I think it should be permanent, honestly. I think these events, both of the events right now that help you get to 200, I think both should be permanent. Because the 0 to 100 one, again, nobody likes the early game. Like 10 to 100 and nobody likes that. It's just kind of, you know, old dead content that nobody enjoys anymore. And then the Terrablink that, you know, helped me from 100 to 200. I think it's just a really good tutorial. I'm not gonna show it here because it's a little long, but it does teach you like all of the important stuff. It teaches you about Star Force, about the transfer hammer, all of which are very important. It teaches you, you know, killing mobs, elite bosses, all that stuff. It teaches you about hyperstats, which I will talk about in a second once my character is level 200. But yeah, I just went with this. It was very easy. Honestly, I've done the 10 to 200 so many times. I have one of every class, you know, 9k Legion. And yeah, like I think this should be permanent, honestly. Like it's miserable, the 10 to 200, when you like don't have gear or you don't know what to do, or some classes have a lot of trouble getting to 200 because they just have weak fourth jobs. Mechanic used to be an infamous one. I'm pretty sure it's gotten better, but you know, I leveled my mechanic back when it was at its worst, and I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But yeah, in the background you can see me get through my job advancements. It was pretty quick, you know, just accept everything, whatever. And you see me set up my keybinds, which I will change later. Again, you will see it in a sec. Because Thunderbreaker is a very particular class. Here I'm just learning my skills, you know, make sure I understand how everything links. But yeah, Thunderbreaker, very interesting class. Again, it's very simple, but it does have like a skill ceiling. I'm glad I chose this class because I think it's gonna keep things a little fresh. But yeah, I don't know what else to say, honestly. This event is pretty good. If you're thinking about getting into the game or about making a new main or whatever, I think now is a really good time because of these events, and because, you know, the game gets better over time. It's gotten a bunch of quality of life. And, you know, I think it's always a good time to start because it's a very long grind anyway. So by the time you reach endgame, from the moment you start, the game probably updated a couple times and got a bunch more quality of life. And that's kind of what I realized here because I haven't played in months. I was really surprised by all the new quality of life. So yeah, I think the game is doing pretty good. So yeah, in this part, the event teaches you about like hyper skills and hyper stats. So that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I'm just gonna skip ahead because the rest is just, you know, killing mobs. Alright, I just hit 200. I don't know how I'm gonna do the process of getting to 200 in the video just yet. I'll probably like fast forward it or something while I explain something else. But basically, now that I'm 200, you know, you do your 5th job advancement, you get your 5th job skills, you get a couple free boost notes. Well, depends on what you get from the note stones, it's random. Just throw everything in, assign it to hotkeys. Read all your skills, of course. I'm probably gonna explain a little bit how Thunderbreaker works. It's a pretty simple class. It's a little hard to like consistently keep up and then like properly learn how everything like combos and stuff. But it's not super hard, right? That's kind of why I chose this class. It's cool, it's flashy, it's not that complex, and it has like a little bit of a skill ceiling, which is pretty cool. Training is gonna be a little bit of a problem because you do press a lot of buttons, depends on the map, and I don't usually like that, but you know, we'll get through it, that's fine. So level 200, you got your 5th job advancement, you learn your skills. Usually at this point I tweak my hyper stats a little bit. So what I usually do is I focus on these 4: critical damage, ignore defense, damage, and boss damage. However, if you are not 100% crit rate, you can definitely put points on crit rate. Hyper stats aren't a huge deal. They're a pretty big deal, but you can definitely sacrifice a couple levels of these 4 main stats for a bit of crit rate. That's totally fine. And usually I like to put 6 points on arcane power. No particular reason. Well, kind of particular reason. Putting 6 points on arcane power meant you would do good damage on the first area, which made it easier to make like the 210 mules for the level 3 link skills. And then I just got used to it because it's nice, you know. It's quality of life. Because you used to start at 30 arcane force with a level 1 symbol, and then 6 levels of hyperstat would put you at 60, so you would be able to do normal damage on every zone. But Hyperburn gives you like a title that gives you arcane force. Being in a guild gives you arcane force. So this is unnecessary. This is just my tradition. I do this because I like it. It's not a big deal. You can reset it anytime you want. So, you know, deal with it. So I still have some points. I'm just gonna like put 1 point into each of these. It's not optimal, but I don't care. I'm just not gonna think about it. This is fine. Probably damage first, followed probably by crit damage or ignore defense. Ignore defense is very important and you get very little of it early on. So it's also fine to focus ignore defense first. You want to hit like 80-85 on the like early game when you start doing CRA. I think that's when you want like 85 IED. And you usually never go above like 95 unless you're doing like Saren and above. But that's very far away from now. You don't need more than 95 anytime soon. What else? Equips, I just have the free set, the free ring. I'm gonna talk about what items you can get. Alright, I got my symbol, I did some quests. Actually, that reminds me, I never got my emblem. Level 100 quest, everybody gets an emblem. Great. So let's actually start trying to get some items. So I'm privileged as hell, so I'm just gonna get like a drop coupon from here to slightly improve my odds. It's very slightly, I might add. So the first and most basic is Sakum. So Sakum gives 2 items. You can just do normal Sakum. It's literally the easiest boss in the game. You can do it at level 100 with no gear. Let me pop this thing. I'm just gonna like boop. And I didn't get anything. So what Sakum can get you, oh whoops. What Sakum can get you is a face accessory and an eye accessory. And the important thing about those 2 slots is that you can't really get other equips that fit there. The next upgrade to these is like from Pink Bean. Pink Bean has one. I have to look from the guide, I believe. Yeah. So Pink Bean has the Black Bean mark, which honestly you can keep until endgame. You can go for the Sweetwater. I absolutely hate doing Commercy, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go for the Black Bean mark, but that's an eye accessory. For the face accessory, there's even less items. So basically, besides, you know, the Sakum one, there is not even Populatus. This is an eye accessory. You gotta look all the way up to Hard Damien for the Magic Eye patch, and this is an extremely rare item. So maybe just for the face accessory, I'll do some Commercy. But I really hate it, so we'll see what happens. Another easy item you can get is from Arcarium. So let's go to Arcarium real quick. So wait, I believe I stack something up. And then a Gale to get a damage buff or something like that. Yeah, I believe so. I know how to play Thunderbreaker. Kinda. So I'm just gonna like summon him. He has a couple mechanics. Nothing too like interesting. It's mostly this thing. You wanna be full HP when he does it, because he it does like 90% of your HP. And well, you don't want him to do that. If you're anywhere except like maxed, you just die. He also has damage reflect, which I usually don't care about, because as you can see, with no gear, you can pretty easily do this guy with 5th jobs. Obviously you wanna be a little bit stronger if you wanna get it for sure. But yeah, he's very basic. He has like no mechanics basically, and you just wanna like beat his ass. Oh, he does teleport you like here. It doesn't do anything. You can just take this portal back, and then you just kill him. So you mainly do this guy for a pendant. This pendant right here, the Mechanator. So there is the Mechanator, and he does have a chance to drop another one that's even better. The Dominator. However, the Dominator is very rare. Luckily you can do this boss every day, not every week. So just keep doing him. The Mechanator is pretty much guaranteed, and it's what you'll wear for a little bit. Other items are from Horntail. Horntail has 3 important items. Horntail is even easier than Arcarium, so don't worry about it. You can probably do it just fine. So you just beat him up. He just has like his heads that spawn, and then You move on. So he drops also a pendant, and you can wear 2 pendants. So you want to do both Arcarium and this guy. He does have this like a physical resistance. It's not a big deal. You just wait. He spawns like this lightning. You can see it on the ground. Just don't get hit by it, I guess. Death isn't really much of an issue as long as you're spamming potions. This boss doesn't have a potion lock like almost every single other boss has, because it's an older boss. You can just spam potions. Usually bosses will let you pot like once every 5 seconds or so. So these older bosses are very easy. So he drops a pendant that you want to wear 2 of. He drops a ring, which are pretty rare, very important. And he also drops an earring, which we haven't seen so far. So you just want to spam your skills. He does put a bunch of debuffs on you. And the bottom right of the screen, with his tail, he puts like a poison that can kill you. So don't stand in the bottom right of the screen, and you should be fine. So he dropped me a ring and a pendant. So I would have really liked the earring, but that's fine. I'll take what I can get. And then another boss, the less important one, is Hilla. So Hilla also drops an earring. However, it is much rarer. And also Hilla does have a hard mode, which is a weekly. That's probably, actually no, I think hard Hilla is the second weakest weekly boss. But the normal mode is a daily. Usually you don't do normal Hilla. Kind of pointless. However, I'm gonna do it just on the off chance that she drops the earring. And she didn't, so that's fine. She also drops a pocket slot. However, the pocket slot isn't as important because Pink Bean, who's also a pretty early game boss, that drops a better one. So that's fine. To unlock your pocket slot, you just need to get your charm to level 30. And you can check your charm here on the profession tab. The way to level this up is by equipping certain items and just drink a potion. Get a trade potion from like an event or something. It'll get your charm to 30, you'll have your pocket slot. That's fine. So I got kind of unlucky. So you can drop nothing. These items like don't have potentials. Luckily I have like a ton of potential scrolls, like normal potential scrolls, not epic ones. I'm just gonna use those. The epic potential scrolls that I do have, I'm gonna save for slightly more important items, which I'll actually mention 2 of right now. So basically just get these items, Star Force them. I'm gonna do that real quick as well. And the 2 items that you can get like some pretty good potentials from like very early on is your emblem and your secondary. So almost every class in the game is gonna get like a secondary that they want to keep until like pretty later on. Obviously there's like the Princess No secondary, but it's kind of a min-max, it's not necessary, and you can just do it slowly over time. That's fine. However, the emblem is something that you just get for free at level 100, and it sticks with you for an extremely long time. So I do think it's worth to throw these random epic potential scrolls that I have on it, because the secondary and the emblem have better potentials, because they can have attack percent and they can have ignore enemy defense, which are extremely good stats to have. And the secondary can also roll boss damage. Emblem cannot roll boss damage. Do not try to get boss damage on emblems. Just get attack percent. Hey, so we got 3 attack percent. It's not much, but I'll just keep it for now. And then I'll cube this a little bit. I'm not gonna cube it a lot because cubing is just a disgusting disgusting process. It takes way too long. I'm just gonna chop some shit. Alright. So let's get back to this. So you just wanna like get your potentials on these, star force them up a little bit. It doesn't have to be like a lot of star force. You can just leave them at 10. It'll do you good. As for the potentials, well, every boss, weekly boss mostly, drops you mystical cubes. So this is very important for the early game, these mystical cubes. Now I, on my account, have like fucking like 30,000 of these across my characters. Just gonna grab like 1,000 just to have around. So you wanna just cube these on their rare potential, get like 3% of your main stat. And that'll, again, it'll help you out in the early game. And then I'm gonna look at some other slightly harder bosses than the ones I just did. However, I should be able to handle them with these new items. And considering the fact that I have like the temporary CRA. So I'm just gonna like, you know, they have terrible potentials, but I'm just gonna equip them for now. So if you see the green numbers on these, not every item has them, only like some of the items. Mostly weapon and like the things in these general area. Some of them have green numbers. So those green numbers are flames. And flames you can buy here. You can just buy a flame and use it. I'm gonna just do it to show. So this has 12 dex, 12 intelligence. I throw a flame on it, it changes, right? Very basic, very simple. You get flames from events. And it's stats. It's a lot of stats. Don't focus on it too much in the early game. It's not that necessary. Focus mostly on Star Force and potentials. The flames you can do later. Just make sure your flames have something that helps you. And it'll be fine. So next up is Magnus. Magnus is a little harder than the first bosses that I showed you. And hard is a weekly boss that I won't be doing for now. It kind of takes a little bit more. So I'm gonna have to get used to Thunderbreaker here. And my new keyboard layout. This is problematic. Okay, so Magnus does a dive with his sword that one-shots. He does that knockback. You can duck it. He likes to stall around. He goes in the air, charges up, does 2 lasers. You can stand directly below him and not get hit, or you can keep your distance. If you're not within his like blue aura, his stink area, you'll take like damage every time and you won't be able to heal as much. However, if your class has any kind of lifesteal, you can just camp outside of his area and, you know, keep a safe distance. That's totally fine. So something I'm gonna have to get used with Thunderbreaker is, you know, ducking those things. So you wanna just, you know, punch him. Again, he goes up with his sword. You wanna keep your distance because he slams the ground on one-shots. The balls are annoying, but they're not that hard to dodge. The purple ones and the blue ones, I believe, both of them one-shot. Okay, so he's doing his laser and we're just gonna stand below him. and the green ones don't. So feel free to tank the green ones as long as your potion cooldown is up. Then his area gets very small. So this is when, you know, the fight gets a little annoying. This is a very annoying boss. You know, I had to use my eye from there. So I'm just gonna like try and kill him. It's fine, this boss gives you a lot of lives. Don't be scared to die a bunch. I'm just gonna spam him. Okay, so I think in normal mode the pink ones don't one-shot you. But, you know, just be slightly careful. Okay, so he dropped me 2 interesting items. So the important one is the shoulder. Shoulders you don't get many of early on. So this is your shoulder until you get the Absolab shoulder, which comes later on. And I also got a cape. So this cape, usually you won't be using it. However, I do think it's, well, I can Star Force my Frozen Cape and it'll probably be better. But there are some situations where you can use this cape. Hard Magnus, the weekly version, drops a white cape that is a lot better than this. It'll probably replace your Frozen Cape, but once you get into Absolabs, those stick around. So for now, I'm just gonna Star Force this. So right now, what I would do is I would try to get fill as many slots. Yeah, let me talk about that first. I want to fill as many slots as possible. The Sakum with 2 of these, Arcarium with the pendant, Horntail with the ring, the pendant, the earring, Magnus with the shoulder, Hard Magnus with the cape, but you know, that can wait a little bit. Glove and shoe will probably be Pencilier. Because of the event, I haven't killed any mobs, so I don't have any Pencilier. Belt. Oh, I have to do pink beam now. I forgot. Let me go do that real quick while I still have my drop buff. And these bosses, of course, they have prequests. You want to do them. I'm just gonna do normal pink beam because I don't want to like do hella long fights for now. So let me stack this thing. So you want to kill the statues. Some of the statues have damage reflect, which can like one-shot you. Mostly this like angel statue over here, and the bird statue on the left. Those have damage reflect and can like one-shot you if you aren't paying attention. Pink bean itself also has damage reflect, so you want to pay some attention. It's not super important. Oh, I got a belt actually from normal pink bean. That's not super common. Hey, I get some luck. Okay, and there's another important thing about getting all of these items, these early game items, is that they have a set effect. So if you see here on the right, there's a set effect that gives you some stats. It's not a huge amount, but it's nice. Like the 7 set gives you some ignore monster defense, which early on you need a lot of. So, you know, you try and get that. Try and get the 7 set. So I got unlucky with the first reset of the day of like the character. Of course, all of the bosses that I just did are daily. I'm gonna do them again when the daily reset hits, which will give me another chance at every item. And ideally, I fill out all of the slots. I Star Force all of them to level 10. I use my cubes on all of them to get like 6% stat. And then usually once your items look like that, you can start doing some weekly bosses, which will start getting you some money. It'll drop you, well, the items they drop aren't super different. But you'll start filling the slots, and that's what matters most. Also, Magnus can also drop a badge that he didn't drop, but it was a normal Magnus. I didn't expect anything to drop. So yeah, that's a very basic start to a character. There are a couple other early game bosses you can do. You can do like normal Populados for some money. He doesn't drop anything, but you can do it for some money. You can do the Omni CLN for some money. You can do normal CRA for some money. Again, these bosses don't drop anything, only money and like honor XP and maybe some cubes. I'm not gonna do them. Von Leon. This is an important one. Von Leon, if you do hard Von Leon, you can get some very terrible accessories. Rings, pendants, and earrings, I believe. However, if you get 10 of them, which you can guarantee one a day from just killing hard Von Leon, you can get a ring that is almost exactly the same as the Silver Blossom ring, and it is part of the boss set. So because you can wear 4 rings and you don't get that many rings early on, you can do that to get another ring. I might do it. I think Von Leon has to get some quest on, which I'm gonna do right now, but that's kind of the early game. Very easy, very simple. Again, if you're a Hyperburn, you get this free set, which is gonna carry the hell out of you. And yeah, that's it for the early game. So next up would be leveling up, getting more symbols, and your V matrix. However, I think I'm gonna explain that on the next episode because this one's too long already. Anyways, that's it for now. Peace.